The NFL draft is a week away, and joining me now is Mr. Draft himself, Mel Kiper. Mel, some big-name receivers are unhappy with their current situation now that the market's been reset, right? Talking about Debo, A.J. Brown, Terry McLaurin. We know this is a loaded draft at receiver. Should the Niners, Titans, and or Commanders be going after one of these stud prospects early in the draft?
Well, they have other issues to deal with. You know, that 49ers not picking until the second round. They have a secondary need. Tennessee could use help on the O-line. And the team that is positioned the best, Max, based on where they're selecting, is Washington. Now, will Kyle Hamilton, safety, Notre Dame, be there? He could. Derek Stingley Jr., corner. What receiver will be there? Drake London, USC. Garrett Wilson, Ohio State, could be gone. Then you're looking at Jamison Williams, Alabama. Chris Olave, Ohio State. Is that a little high for those two? Jamison Williams coming off the injury. So you have to really see how the board goes, who comes off the board before 11 if you're Washington. And for the other teams, Tennessee in particular, I got Zion Johnson, guard center out of Boston College, going to the Tennessee Titans, who could use a player like that along their offensive line to help out Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, get that offense being more consistent.
All right, Mel, we want to talk about the most coveted players in this draft. So let's first look at the top of your latest mock. Which player do you have going in the top 10 who teams should aggressively trade up to get?
Yeah, Malik Willis, the quarterback from Liberty, is the only quarterback, Max, that excites the guys I talk to in the NFL, that they fear coming maybe into their division. They don't fear anybody else. This is the only one because he's a dual-threat quarterback, and he's got great talent. Big-time arm, tremendous running skills, and he's a great kid. Character off the charts. Wants to be great, will do everything it takes to put in the time necessary to achieve that. So if you're the Steelers at 20, and everybody says Malik Willis could be a Steeler, Mike Tomlin loves Malik Willis, after you have to do with Lamar Jackson in the division, well, you better go up and get him, I believe. I don't think he falls in their lap like Mac Jones fell to New England. So it's going to be really interesting to see. Number one, does Carolina take Malik Willis at 6? And if they don't, do the Steelers have to move up to get him before somebody else does, or maybe somebody else grabs him that maybe surprises you, like maybe the Saints or somebody like that? So Malik Willis, I think, will be the talk of the early to mid portion of round one.
All right, we're talking about guys in each little phase of the first round that teams that are worth trading up to get. What about the middle of the first round, Mel, in that 11 to 20 range? Who should teams target if he's worth trading up to grab?
It's Jamison Williams, max wide receiver out of Alabama. We wouldn't be talking about him if it wasn't for the injury. The ACL moved him from a top 5, top 10 pick into the middle of the first, which is great to see. There was talk he could drop into the second round. Well, he's ahead of schedule coming back from the ACL. You have New England positioned at 21, Green Bay at 22, and Kansas City at 29 and 30. You also have the Saints in that mix and the Eagles in that mix, okay? So to me, Jamison Williams, there's talk about him maybe going 10 to the Jets or somebody trading up. I think that's a little rich coming off the ACL, but he could certainly be in the middle of the first. If you're Kansas City or if you're Green Bay or if you're New England, particularly Green Bay and Kansas City, maybe moving up ahead of, say, the Saints could be a good thing if you want to acquire Jamison Williams.
All right, finally, Mel, we know sometimes a team will trade into the first round, late in the first round to get their guys. So, bottom of the first round, who will still be there that's worth trading up into the late in the first round to get?
This is one for you, Max. Tyler Linderbaum. Remember him? We had a conversation about him maybe being in the top 10. Well, he could go in the late first. If you're the Jets and you say you get Sauce Gardner and Drake London, and then you want to solidify the middle of that line, have an anchor for 10 to 12 years, Tyler Linderbaum's the guy. Why is he dropped? Because he's not that big, about 296. And he doesn't have the long arms. He's got short arms, okay? But at center, we've seen some short-arm centers reach Pro Bowl and maybe even Hall of Fame status in the NFL. So Tyler Linderbaum could be one, and then Desmond Ridder, quarterback out of Cincinnati with the Bearcats. If you want to get into that late first and get him, fifth-year option, all that, Ridder from Cincinnati could be the guy. Somebody like Atlanta, Seattle, somebody like that could jump in and maybe get late round one.
So just to be very clear, for the rest of the teams, not the Giants, Linderbaum. You don't want Linderbaum. Small, short arms. Don't draft Linderbaum. Right, Mel? Am I right? Only the Giants.
This is Jets. This is Jets. 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 Yeah.